Hey guys, it's Grandmaster Shaymin and welcome back to the channel as we are continuing on with the visual novel Fatal 12. In the last episode, we had the big fight scene play out between our three, I don't want to say heroes, but our three allies in arms against number 4, you. The big fight scene between the three of them and you, in which ended pretty much in a stalemate, all things considered. But now we switch back to Mao's perspective. After the initial surprise of the stream suddenly cutting out, Mao switches over to news sites for up-to-date information. The situation is still somewhat unclear, but it seems they've failed to blow up Tokyo Tower. However, the girl who was taken hostage had vanished. It's entirely possible that she's still being kept as a hostage. Amongst all this, Mao finds herself worried over something. I'm pretty sure I heard Rinnie's voice. She could hardly believe it herself, but Mao was confident that she wouldn't mistake the voice of a close friend. Oh shit, Mao, please don't get involved. Please don't get involved. That makes the unread messages she sent all the more concerning. At least get Miharu's help. Things get crazy at Tokyo Tower thanks to the police and fire brigade's arrival. We make our escape while the police are busy arresting Yu's comrades. Fortunately, we could get out via the emergency staircase with relative ease thanks to the flood of people entering the place. Once out, we make our way back to our base at Yokohama. Here. Thanks. She hands me a bag filled with fast food, a burger and fries to be precise. Next to her sits a bottle of alcohol she got from a convenience store. I take a bite of the comically oversized burger. The vicious ketchup and warm meat fills my mouth. Ew, ketchup? You fucking... what? The overwhelming flavors are somehow more delicious than I remember. Maybe it's due to how tired I am. Yeah, I mean, you barely slept. So, come to think of it, this is the first thing I've eaten today. My heart's still racing from all that's gone down. Oh, come on, you don't need more than one meal a day, Rinka, come on. I guess I never had the time to think about it, let alone actually get some food. You hasn't been arrested as expected. Ain't no one who can get away from me like that get caught by the police. Odette munches away on her burger and fries while she responds. I figured her palate would match her taste and knowledge for coffee, but nope, she just seems to love the act of eating. There's something pleasant about the glee in which she does so, especially when you factor in that it's her third burger. Gotta hand it to you, your acting wasn't half bad. If something needs to be done, then one simply has to do it. I love his, confident smirk. It's funny. That explains your bravado. It hurt less than I anticipated. Care to give it a shot? Nah, I'm good. I can't promise I wouldn't fire back. I wasn't able to get Yu's regret card. He turned out to be a much tougher opponent than I had assumed. I did get to hear about his past, though. I'm finally able to understand the foundation between his and his organization's belief. How are things looking after that little speech of his? A good chunk of the internet is discussing his past right now. Of course, most people are calling him out on it. From what I can see, there are plenty of people who sympathize with him, too. Safe to say his stream worked. All the news channels are reporting on what happened today. While it's fortunate that there were no victims, the influence it's having over the world at large can't be is enough to understand. Fate has plenty of work on its plate once he gets eliminated. Yeah. If things get reworked so that he died during a suicide attack on the Yamanote line, then it's likely that both his attack on a mecha and what happened today will be undone. Society's become far more alert due to the recent string of actions. People are even starting to feel bad for the perpetrators after seeing Yu's stream. His actions instilling fear in the greater number of people have no doubt affected the society as a whole. What will be undone through his elimination as well? We won't know until it happens. The question now is what to do since he got away. Ain't easy to track him down either. None of my connections know his location. Null Japan's branch is all but dead at this point, but he still has a bomb at his disposal. He only needs the one to claim a significant number of lives. Today's events won't stop him. He'll make his move tomorrow. What makes you say that? I swallow a chunk of my burger before continuing. You said we'd settle things with fate tomorrow morning. He wouldn't say that and then stay put. Well then. That's all he said, though. I don't know what he's got planned. Chances are he'll go for Tokyo Tower again, pulling it off while they've got security up the ass. Will have way more impact. I figure that would be a likely scenario myself. His beliefs are steadfast, yet they don't tie into his desire for me to kill him. He's been oddly focused on the idea of settling the score with fate, too. What does he mean by that? We'll make our way to Tokyo Tower early in the morning. That's our best course of action, given the limited information at our disposal. Both myself and Odette nod in agreement. We take some time to rest up before we finish eating. Unfortunately, I can't go home now that we know you plans on making his move tomorrow. Well, I'm probably best off not going back anyway. Odette took care of Tokyo Tower's security cams, but the police may come in to question me, on the off chance there's footage of me. I've got a gun on me, so they'd probably arrest me on the spot. Today was a whole new experience for me. It's left me totally exhausted. Thinking back, it's a miracle I came out of it unscathed. That's how crazy it was. Pretty intense. Pretty intense. There's a public bathhouse about 20 minutes away on foot, so the three of us make the trek to get washed up. Sure, I build up some sweat on the way back, but considering the state I was in before the bath, it's worth it. Isn't it a bit weird to have a bath with fucking Odette there? Like, Odette's got that freaking powerful bod. It's kind of intimidating. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I were next to that, I'd be like, oh my goodness, I feel very, very inadequate right now. Once we return, we go straight to sleep. We're going to get up in the just as early as we did today. What's more, tomorrow's likely to take even more of a toll on us, considering we don't know what Yu's planning. Odette falls asleep first this time, probably because she was drinking. But knowing her, she probably sprang right up if you even thought about approaching her. I wouldn't be surprised, not after witnessing her fight with you this afternoon. Are you still awake? Well, this is an interesting picture. I find it so funny that anime does this, where you could see his eye through his hair. That makes no sense. Look at his hair. It's completely covering his eye. Why do we see it? It doesn't make any sense there. They could have just as easily covered it up and not put the eye there, but they chose to put the eye there. I don't blame these people, because it happens all the time in anime. It's not like it's a new thing, but it just seems kind of unnecessary. Because if you block out his eye, like I'm doing on my screen right now, I don't know if you guys, well, you guys can't see it, but I don't know if I'm blocking the camera. Like, it looks just as fine. Yeah. You should get as much sleep as you can. That's all he says before he covers his face again. I want to thank him for accepting the role he took today, but I hold my tongue. We're just using one another for our own benefit. He didn't do it for my sake. This is just a guy who took babies as hostage. See, that's what I'm saying. This guy is so ridiculous. He seems like he's not a bad guy, but he literally said that he was gonna kill a child. Just as I've tried to fall asleep, he poses a question to me in a hushed tone. Do you think it's a sin to kill others? A question that doesn't even need an answer at that. Even so, I reply with a nod. Then, do you also think it's a sin to eliminate others in divine selection? I'd say that, yeah, it is. Both Naomi and myself treated it that way whenever we talked about divine selection. But now Naomi's gone. I don't have any choice but to commit that sin if I want to get her back. I don't see it that way. Eliminating someone the way we do simply puts them back on their initial path. Surviving through this to the end is stepping off that path. May, in fact, be the one true sin. Although I suppose I love this music. I really, really love this OST right now. Like this is just so intense. I'm like getting goosebumps whenever this soundtrack, this music comes on. Although I suppose that it would make the act of eliminating others a sin in retrospect. His own statements are contradictory. What are you trying to say? I've found myself thinking about it lately is all. Huh? His response doesn't even come close to answering my question. He doesn't say another word, though. I realize something important just as I'm about to fall asleep, though. The Alan I come to know isn't the type of person who's to say a thing like that. In that case, why would he let me see this other side of him? I just can't figure it out. I have to say that I kind of see both perspectives. Because I don't know if I'd call that, what you define as a sin, because I'm not really too thrilled on the whole sin thing, just because I'm really not religious at all. But using that as the only appropriate term here, I don't know if I'd call it a sin to eliminate others the way that they do. It's a sin to fucking try and kill a child. Don't get me wrong, killing is bad, but they're all already dead. So, in my opinion, this isn't really a sin. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have much of a problem considering even myself is dead. I wouldn't be too upset if they eliminated me because, again, I'm already dead. Of course, I'd much rather... Well, I mean... all things considered, for the sake of this, Rinka would much rather, survive and all that jazz. I'd probably end up being more of a Miharu on this one, to be honest. It's kind of a mix between Miharu and Rinka. If no one else was there, more than likely I'd probably end up being like Rinka, where I wouldn't actually be able to eliminate anybody, just because I would do stupid shit like she's doing, and I'd get attached to them, and then I'd never be able to eliminate them. So then I try and help them win, basically, at that point. So then it's kind of Miharu in that sense, is where, whoever I get attached to first would probably be the one that I help win. You know what I'm saying? But it's interesting that Alan says that winning the thing could be a sin because you're altering fate. You're choosing to ignore your destiny, which was to die at that moment in time and to live despite that. And that I find interesting. I definitely find that interesting. It's a point that I can't necessarily refute either, all things considered. So it's definitely something interesting to think about. It's hard to feel like anyone is particularly in the wrong unless they, of course, try and kill a child. Not letting that one go. We go back to Tokyo Tower the next morning. Unsurprisingly, the observatory is closed off. Only the aquarium and a small number of shops are still open. Hard to blame them considering what happened. They might have failed, but anything involving hostages, gunshots, and a hostage who's gone missing is a big deal. I say that as someone who actually knows what went down, too. But really, the biggest surprise to me is that they haven't shut down the entire place. I guess it might be their way of saying they won't give in to terrorism. He ain't gonna get much out of whatever he tries to pull in this state. It won't stop him, though. He wouldn't mention settling things with fate if he didn't have something else planned. Try and think. Is there anywhere he's likely to turn up? He poses his question in a composed manner. There's certain strength behind it, too. Nothing like the weak side he let slip yesterday. I honestly don't know, though. Times like this demand that I think things through from the beginning. Starting with the connection between me and you. Naomi was at the core. He took her life at Emeka, all for the sake of making me eliminate him. I'm not sure why he wants me to do it. However, I'm sure he left me a hint within his speech yesterday. Become a hero through death. Giving one's life to accomplish something earns one the title of hero. That's what he was saying. Why am I the one he's focused on then? There are others who could eliminate him, so a spark of light lights up in my mind all of a sudden. Fire, like the one that's engulfed us back then. The fateful exchange that it overheard us have. You won't become a hero. You're not even human. You're just a puppet. I was bold enough to proclaim that to him on my dying breath. Don't tell me. My thoughts lead me to the most logical conclusion, the one that proves to be the closest to finding an answer I've been looking for. I turn to face Odette and Alan. Let me handle this alone. What? I'm gonna settle things with fate myself. Did something come to mind? I look at Alan in the eyes and nod firmly. It's obvious they'll say no to me. I can't explain my reasoning, though. They'd have to get a hold of too much of my information if I do. Actually, they'll probably come along even if I gave them a vague explanation. There's no guarantee I'm right, but it's not likely I have any other leads. They don't have much of a choice. I can't let them come, though. I won't be able to reach the answer I'm looking for if I don't do this on my own. Whatever, go for it. That ain't the face of someone who's gonna bail. Agreed. He peers deep in my eyes before offering his consent. A brief pause before he closes his own eyes and continues. We'll do our own digging, as now our alliance is ended. I'd be lying if I said I didn't get a kick out of working with you two. Are you sure? Let's assume you plan to flee. Don't you think you'll be able to... Do you think you'll be able to escape us? Good, that's the attitude I expect from you. You have gotten snide, haven't you? Says the person responsible for it. When we next meet, we shall be enemies. We never weren't enemies, bud. We just held hands for a bit. I can hear my heart racing. Working together with these two was extremely exhilarating. Following that, the three of us all go our separate ways. I was able to work together with those two as equals has given me strength. I always thought we belonged to different worlds, but that's not the case. They may outclass me when it comes to physical prowess and combat ability, but I proved that we can stand toe-to-toe when it comes to our determination. Let's do this. Those words represent my determination. Oh, shit. Yep, it's the train, isn't it? There are a number of terms used to describe the sequence of events that led to the specific outcome. Some call it life, others call it a story. One is responsible for much during this sequence, such as choices picked, relationships built, and mistakes made, all for the sake of proceeding along a predetermined path. That is our natural order of a world ruled by the concept of fate. Fate never strays from its course, regardless of how cruel it may be. There was a time I truly believed all of that, but now I know. You don't just let fate run its course, you shoulder it yourself. That's why I'm going to settle the score. I'll change fate itself. I make my way to the station closest to Tokyo Tower, and then take the train to Shinjuku. Once there, I rush to where this all began, the place that led me to losing my life. I hear a number of times since divine selection began. This time, that truly matters, though. There he is. The train is already sitting at the platform. The signal of... Oh, man, I get goosebumps. She's going through this like this is deja vu back to episode 1, way back when. The signal for its immediate departure rings out just as I spot him. Ellipses. He's in disguise today as well, from what I can tell. I can barely make out his outline from here, but I know it's him. The hair, those rabbit eyes, and the keychain on his bag. They all stood out. He seems to have noticed me. His cold gaze sends a shiver down my spine. It's possible he's been waiting for my arrival. In fact, that's definitely the case. He turns and boards the train. I jump into the car closest to me, so I don't miss it. Although the train isn't packed due to it being a Sunday, there's still a decent number of passengers. That's enough for all the seats to be taken and leave a good amount of people standing. I need to hurry. Things kicked off not long after leaving Shinjuku on that fatal day. That's why I run towards the car that you boarded, paying no mind to the people I bump into along the way. I'm moving to the front cars, the same direction that the train is moving in. The situation has already escalated by the time I reach my destination, however. Yu opens the bag at the exact moment I arrive. Run! I scream at the other passengers on instinct. I can't say for sure how many hear me. The lack of any significant reaction tells me that there are very few. That's not the problem, though. There's only one thing for me to do here. You took your time. He tossed his disguise. His face is recognizable by the entire country after yesterday's stream. Those who see him immediately understand their situation. In that sense, his presence alone proves to be far more effective than my warning. What are you planning? I told you. I'm settling the score with fate. You won't be able to kill anyone now, even if you let that bomb go off. I'm lucky that he didn't opt to do anything wild right away. Nothing was stopping him from letting that bomb go off right then and there. Yo, this is kind of weird. It's his facial expression in this picture is kind of odd. He looks more scared than anything else. That's fine. All that matters is that you're here now. I'm aware of what you want. I stand tall as I confront him. The passengers in our car gradually make their way to another one. Someone tries to grab my arm and help me escape as well, but I brush them off. You might detonate the bomb if he thinks I'm trying to escape. I have no intention of doing so. If he wants to settle the score, then I'm all for it. You want to become a hero, not just a puppet, but your own person. So I wasn't hearing things after all. We didn't have our card books back then, and yet we understood each other. Odd, considering I barely comprehend Japanese back then. Doesn't matter. Surely you're not satisfied with just me being here. It's your fault everything ended up like this. You should have killed me before. That's why I'm here now. You're not the only one trying to settle things. My memories are gradually coming back to me as I spend more time with Shingetsugu. I slowly came to remember everything about myself, my past, my desperation, most importantly, my true nature. That's why I begged you to eliminate me. I don't have a normal life to go back to after this. I'm not like you. You had a normal life with Shingetsugu, though. You two were like family. And I ended up far worse off for it. If I had to lose anything, it should have been my conscience. I wouldn't have had to worry about anything then. I wouldn't have had nothing but a mindless machine built to kill. Having my eyes open to what a normal life is like made revisiting my past that much more painful. I don't want that feeling. All you had to do was go and find your own way to live. I can't. Shingetsugu never taught me how. He never felt he needed to. He honestly believed that you would manage. He wanted you to decide how to live your life on your own. That's what the money he left behind was for. He's asking too much of me. No, he's not. It was your choice to become a puppet in the first place, wasn't it? I'm not a puppet. Then prove it. That's why I'm doing this. I'll become a hero after you kill me. Then what? What is a hero to you? To me, it sounds nothing more than some tall tale of your own design. A hero is someone who gives their life to accomplish something. Someone who, in death, becomes timeless. Everything I've done after Shingetsugu was eliminated by my own will. And going back to my old work, making a stand against the world, that's what's important to you. Taking what's important to you is all part of it. I want you to kill me, so I killed someone close to you first. I did this of my own volition. I've proven that I'm not some puppet. I feel myself about to scream when he brings up Naomi. I can't let it out, though. I must hold it in. I'm pretty sure he means everything he said, and that's why all I feel for him now is pity. I know that I shouldn't, but I mean, it makes no sense to feel sorry for the person who killed Naomi. I convinced myself that the story he told at Tokyo Tower meant nothing to me, but still. Who is a great hero to you, then? I have to ask him. A great hero to me? Mama, of course. Who else could it be? What was it she provided for you then? I'm sure it was the same thing as Shingetsugu. Huh? What did Mama give me? Shingetsugu wanted you to become a person who could provide something for another. A desire she clearly lacked. And that something wasn't fear or despair. Much less anger or sadness. No one would wish for that. You understand that, don't you? You knew Shingetsugu considered you both kind and brave. That's why you accepted the name he gave you. You wanted to become the person he saw. That's why you're still using that name even now. Only your name card didn't disappear. But your cause of death card didn't disappear either. What? It's just the regret card. What? That's more than enough proof of that. Deep down, you don't want to become this kind of hero. Quit running your face and face yourself already. Shut up, just shut up. He cuts me off with a rabid scream. There is more to it than just his words, though. His animosity towards me is palpable. He's become nothing more than a desperate child. He rips his bag open while screaming. Inside it is the exact same bomb he used on the day we died. Don't do it! He's not doing it to kill the others. Maybe he's trying to hurt himself. This is the solution to escape the contradiction within himself. I dash towards him in response. I do it instinctively. My reasoning behind my action doesn't matter right now. Don't be so rash. I make it there before he triggers the bomb. I can. I just think about it. The train lurches violently. The speakers announce that they've engaged the emergency brakes. Someone must have pressed the emergency stop button after fleeing the train car. As a result, I throw all my weight in order to keep myself from face planting as I run into you. The recoil on top of that shift throws me back against the door connecting this car to the next. I turn my gaze back to you after making sense of what has happened, only to find out I'm too late. Shit. A thunderous roar resounds, accompanied by a blinding light. This is the scene embedded deep within my psyche. Ugh. I close my eyes after the explosion goes off. Fortunately, I just get away with a cut on my leg due to both the distance and the fact that you was smothering the bomb when he set it off. Then again, it might be due to divine selection working to protect me as a participant. The flames from the explosion envelop the car just as they did before. The heat wave causes my vision to blur. I can feel the discomfort on my skin from the intense heat, too. It's the same scene I witnessed before, the scene undone by divine selection. What happened to you? Oh, shit. You know, not only is the artwork in this game absolutely amazing, I'm just going to turn up the brightness a little bit. Yeah, that is, I mean, it fucking looks like he hurts like a bitch, but like you can kind of see how the burn marks aren't completely everywhere. You can see like that part of his skin is completely white, and then you can see the burn marks on the underside of his chest right here is also not burnt from the explosion. But like Hugh's character is very interesting to me. You know, honest to God, I can kind of believe in, you know, what he is and how he's acted to this point. Wanting to become a hero, wanting to prove to people, you know, that he can be something, but not really knowing what a true hero does or what a hero is. You know, making that mistake and becoming really a terrorist, a bad person. So I knew it. I can't die. I turn my eyes from you the moment he enters my line of sight. The explosion has roasted him alive. Fragments of the bomb are lodged into his body, exposing raw muscle. He's bleeding profusely. I only look upon him for a second, but I will never forget that sight. The smell of burnt flesh wafts throughout the car within the smoke. I look back toward him slowly. Come here, you. I think I can help you before it's too late. What do you have to gain by helping me? Ugh. The heat I feel is nothing compared to what it must be like around you, who is at the locus of the explosion. I try to make my way over to him, but my body refuses to move. Yu's card book, which remains completely unscathed, lays at his feet. I would have expected it to catch fire, but there it is, perfectly fine, and tattered and scorched remnants of Yu's bag lay beside it. The keychain has been damaged a bit, but it's more or less survived the blast. Yu picks it up ever so slowly. I bought the bag along with the keychain the very first day I got to Japan. I didn't think much of it at the time, but when you took it from me at Tokyo Tower, I felt like I had to get it back. It had become important to me at some point. During the time I spent with Shigetsugu. Tell me later, just get over here now. I don't know why I'm worried about him. All I need to do is learn his regret, but I can't settle down seeing him like that. Shigetsugu never locked the door when someone was home, but he would whenever we were out. You lock the door when you leave and unlock it when you come home. That's common sense to you. I wanted that to be the case for me as well. I only realized it once Shigetsugu was gone, though. Once that desire of mine became unattainable. If possible, I wanted to live a normal life, like all of you. My card book begins to shine. Not that I'm in any position to check it right now. I drag myself as close to him as I can before extending my hand. The wall of heat around him pushes against me. The sweat building up on my arm evaporates before it has a chance to drip off me. That doesn't matter right now. You can finally kill me. You! A gust of smoke surrounded him all of a sudden, probably because a swell of air he just got sucked into the car when a window broke. The flames grow more intense. I can't even keep my eyes open. The amount of smoke causes me to crouch without thinking. I must be trying to keep myself from breathing it in. My right hand remains extended towards you, though. It's the one part of my body I can control willingly. I feel something solid touch it. Thank you, Rinka. I'm not sure if he speaks after touching my hand or if I imagine it. Regardless, I feel my consciousness fade after suffocating heat. I give into it and pass out. Fuck. Well, we have made it to the next event here, the next Court of Fate, where you will likely get eliminated. So make sure you stay tuned for next episode. Make sure you click that thumbs up button down below for me, because you already know your support is greatly appreciated, as well as making sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And we'll see you all in the next episode.